Hello and welcome everyone. And so far now we have discussed how dampness and water intrusion into the structure presents several potential damages to the elements of the structure, and hence we go for different methods of waterproofing and damp proofing on different elements of the structures. Sometimes what happens more than the water or the dampness or some more external factors, it is the insects, pests, rodents, or basically the termites which cause the drastic damage to the furnitures, woods, and timber like structures. So, in that case, we have to go for termite proofing also. So, what are different treatments for termite proofing, that we will also discuss in the coming videos. But here we are going to see what are these termites. So, it has been named as the silent invaders. So, they are actually invading on our building structures, but very silently, because they eat the wood from inside out. A wood being eaten by termite may be looking super fine from the external if we look up, but what happens if we knock the wood? The wood sounds hollow by the holes being made by these termites. Okay. So if we quote a data from the National Pest Management Association survey, they state that almost more than $8 billion in property damages due to termites every year. So we can see how much damage is only due to the termites, and specifically in a country like India, it's really present everywhere because the temperature is not very dry here. And you can see on the map that on Africa there is very less attack of termites there. Okay. So here, just as we have said, that more than threats to wooden structure than fire, flood, or wind, because fire, flood, and wind can damage a wooden structure very rapidly. But even if we put all of these threats together, the threat due to the termites is several times larger. Okay. And what are the possible reasons for the attacks or the raids from the termites? Is that the deforestation. Now, when the forests are cleared out, the roots of the trees are left inside the soil, and that becomes the possible feast for the termites living in the colonies in millions of numbers. And also, because of forests, they used to get their food from the leaves, dry leaves that used to be lying there on the foliage, on the ground of the forests. So if we deforest, and then what happens, these termites slowly and slowly come into the our structure in search of their food. And the second effect or the reason can be due to urbanization. See, by urbanization, what happens that instead of afforestation, we have made a forest of concrete structures. That's why urban cities are called today's concrete jungles. So if there is no jungles, then there will be attack on the concrete jungles from the termites. And the third possible reason can be the inefficient shortcuts that usually we do in regard to control the pest measures or measures for the termites. So we try to apply some shortcuts due to inefficient knowledge or experience, and that's why we see in long run our structure gets affected to the termites. See, termites mostly affects the basement and the ground level of the structure. Of course, there are several examples in which we have seen termites attack on the 6th floor, 8th floor, 10th floor, or even 25th floor of the high rise buildings. Because termites can travel through the drain pipes also. Okay. But mostly They attack on the ground floor and the basement floors most of the time. So it is also the cause of hidden cancer. Now, because the termites may take up residence in a home for years and even decades, and in due course of time, they are always eating away at the structure from the inside out. So, if we talk of an average subterranean termite colony, they can consume a 2 by 4 square feet per year of wood, and until the damage finally shows itself, hence the unsettling nickname is given as silent invaders or silent destroyers. So, if you can see in this figure, there is a lot of attacks of termite very clearly seen on each of the wooden elements here. So, termite can enter a home by slipping through a crack in the foundation. Now, on the foundation or on the floor, we provide many joints like expansion joint, contraction joint, and then there are building joints, and then there are some cavities also left, and there are a few cracks which are although unintentionally developed. So through those cracks also termite enters the home by sleeping, and these termites are so thin that they can pass through a crack which is of thickness even an average business card. So a less than a quarter inch, means almost 0.5 to 75 centimeter gap shall be sufficient for the slipping of termites from the soil into our structure, because these termites makes their nest beneath the structure in the soil, in the subsoil specifically. So the possible access points through which these termites invade our structure are the expansion joints. Now expansion joints are provided when the structure is really large, or there can be window vents that be specifically leave open for ventilations, or there can be roof joints, and through the bathroom traps, different traps that we use, they can be also the potential access point for the termites, and through the plumbing outlets or the drainage pipes they can also enter. That's why termites can reach even up to the top floors through these drain pipes. And also we provide cable ducts. There are different duct pipes for the telephone lines and for the electricity lines, and there are different ducts that we leave also beneath the structure, and they can be also the access point for the termites to invade on our structures. So that's why we can see some of the signs of infestation of termites on our structure. See, if we specifically see some powders coming from the wooden jambs or the frames of the windows or doors, we can be sure that they are being attacked by the termites. Or if we see some soily type of on a trail being met by some creatures, then those are also being the attack of termites. So some more signs of infestation can be either the presence of swarmers in or around the house, especially when we see the swarmers near the light sources after rain. So we can be sure that there are infestation of termites on our home. Also the presence of muds, shelters on foundation or other walls running from the ground upward in the house, that can also be the sign of infestation, because the shelter that the termites can get from the mud or the drains which we may pass along the foundation walls, so they can be possible symptoms of infestation. Now when we see sometimes the stray wings, punk, left near the doors and windows frames, then also we can get a glimpse of the symptom of this infestation of termites. Now when we see the paints that has started to bubble on the wood surfaces that sound hollow when we knock on the wooden furnitures or the timber like structure, then that can also be the sign of infestation of termites. And of course when we sleep in the night and sometimes we hear some eating of the woods, so these acoustic signals of termites gnawing on and knocking against wood surfaces can be sure short signs of infestation or the termite attacks or the invasion on our wooden structures. And then is the proper time when we can apply the techniques of termite treatments. And there are different treatments for termite proofing that we will discuss in the coming videos also. Now you will be surprised to know that termites are one of the rare insect species that live in colonies. They live in groups. And the colonies consist of an equal number of males and females, even in the soldier caste, because one is the queen and other is the soldiers. Okay. So approximately it has been found that almost 2300 species of termites are known to exist on earth. We may say that termites are always a threat to the wooden structure, but termites are also beneficial. Because see, if they are present in the soil, then they are helping in the natural ecology of the system. Because of their ability to digest the cellulose that is present in the wood, and it helps these insect recycle the entire nutrient base present on the planet. And that's why we see all the woods or the organic material present on the surface of the earth gets recycled in due course of time. So termites are beneficial, and these termites have existed for approximately 250 million years back also. And in recorded history, we see these termites have never developed any resistance to any type of pesticides. Now you will see how. Because termites survival is possible because of Queen's Royal Tester system. And what happens in it? That colonies worker test and process all the food before it has to be fed to the queen. So that's why they have survived in all the reverse situations, even if we have applied different kinds of pesticides against them. Now the last fact that will surprise you most is that the termite workers and soldiers are blind. They have no eyes at all. So they rely completely on their sense of touch, and they communicate with each other through chemical signals. Just like there is chemical signals along the spinal cord and the nerves inside our body. So they rely on these communication system to help them locate their food and the moisture and their shelter. So this is how the termite colonies communicate with each other, and they develop an attack on any wooden foliage lying on the surface. So since the termites are called the silent destroyer or the silent invaders, so we also have to be expert termite inspector. And if we are very expert and we can minutely check the source of these termites, then we can only go for the appropriate treatment or the measures. Now how to spot these intruders who are attacking on our building structures? And we can spot them only when we know what is their feature and what are the types of termites. So basically there are two types of termites. One is the subterranean termites, which are most dangerous to the structure, and next one is the dry wood termites. Okay, and these subterranean termites are considered to be the most widespread and destructive termite species. They live in underground colonies beneath the structure in the subsoil or in the moist secluded areas above ground. Even they can make their nest on the trees. Okay, and that can contain up to 2 million members in a single colony. So if a home is being attacked by termites, and if you draw a 300 feet circle around your house, so we can be sure that in that region there are possible signs of infestations of termites on the building structures. So the wood being damaged by subterranean termites has a honeycombed appearance, and subterranean termites basically live beneath the soil and sometimes above the soil also in the moist regions. But dry wood termites lives always in dry wood. This is the difference. Subterranean prefer to live in the moist regions or beneath the soil, But dry wood termites prefer to live in dry wood, such as attics and crawl spaces, and do not need contact with soil to survive. Okay, and they can be found in a homes, framing, furniture, and even the hardwood flooring of homes, and they form colonies of up to 2.5 thousand members and produce relatively small swarms of 10 to 100 insects, making them easy to go unnoticed. And the wood being consumed by these dry wood termites appear very clean and smooth from the external appearance. So this is the basic difference between these two different types of intruder termites. Okay, so that's why we have to apply some measures through which we can be sure of exclusion of termites from our homes. So the very first measure can be, we can keep the moisture out of our home. How can we do it? By providing proper ventilation or opening the vents that we have provided in our home. And we can use downspouts and gutters to divert the water away from the home's foundation, because it is the foundation, basement, or the ground floor which is mostly attacked by termites. And we should not store mulch, firewood, and wood chips near the foundation of home. And we should also ensure that shrubs, vines, and other plants should not be planted too much close in the vicinity of a house, and they should not cover the vents or the drains of the house. Okay, and we should also ventilate the crawl spaces to reduce the humidity, and we should try to eliminate the gaps and cracks in areas such as attic vents, window joints, and roof eaves. And we should not try to cover the cracks by some temporary arrangements. Sometimes people try to cover their crack on the floor slabs by putting a carpet, but isn't it a patch up solution? What will happen? The termites will sleep through these cracks into the structure, and they will pass through the carpet, and they will reach to a wooden furniture, and they will start destroying that. All right. And also we have to remove old tree stumps and roots which are near to our home, because these roots and the stumps can be the source of feasting for the termites and their developments further. All right, so there are different methods of termite exclusion that we will discuss, and how we use different chemical barriers so that we can provide a barrier between the soil and the superstructure. And the second method is the baiting techniques, in which we try to catch or attract these termites as the prey in a arrangement in which we try to put some wood for their food, and then we apply some chemicals over it. So we will be discussing these different methods of exclusion of termites from our building structures in the coming videos. So till that, stay tuned and stay safe. Thank you.